right, hola clase. So I'm going to try to create this video to explain the Lotus chart that you're going to be using for creating the sentences for your family album. So this whole concept of a Lotus chart, if you've never heard one before, is just kind of like that of a lotus flower, where you have this center piece here, and then you have it growing to kind of form a larger chart. So you have this example that I've given you. Hopefully you're kind of looking at it and you probably think it just looks like a bunch of gibberish, but you have this middle piece here, the very center. It says mi album de mi familia. Well, that is exactly what we're creating here. We're going to create a family album, and so it shows you kind of what it should look like, and it'll help you set your sentences up, because for each slide you're going to have 8 sentences describing members of your family. All right, so I'm kind of going to jump back and forth between this example one that hopefully you've printed out and you're hopefully following along with me, and then the blank one that I left for you guys, so that way you could create one of your own. All right, so I'm going to create mine, and I'm going to start writing and filling in the blanks to try to set up and format some of those sentences. So starting in the very center, obviously I'm going to label what my title slide would be and what this is called. Okay, so it is mi álbum de mi familia. Okay, and so this center piece here is just going to kind of be used to figure out who you're going to add into your family album. Guys, you can put anybody you want here, but like I said in the instructions, you'll have 5 total slides. You're going to have this first one that I just wrote here that's just like your title, introducing your family, and maybe on that slide you'll have like a family picture. If you don't have a family picture, maybe like a family silhouette. So just however you decide to format it is fine, but you're going to make sure that you have 5 slides in total. And take a look at the presentation, the example presentation that I've attached to this, so that way you can kind of see how I did it for my own family. Okay, all right, so when you're trying to decide who you're going to have in your family, well, one thing's for sure, you have to have yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to this slide. Yo means I in Espanol. Hopefully by now you know that. And like I said, you're going to have a slide for yo. Your second slide is going to be a él or an ella slide, meaning he or she. So it could be anybody in your family. It could be your mom. It could be your dad. It could be your sister. So for my family, I am going to use my husband for an example. So I'm going to put mi esposo. Okay. Oh, did not. Sorry. Mi esposo. My husband. All right, that's going to be my el slide. All right. My third slide is going to be a nosotros slide, meaning we. All right, so I have to pick someone else in my family, and I have to be included into this slide. So maybe I want to describe my cousin and myself. We're pretty close, and I really love her, and we're like sisters. So I'm going to use my cousin, mi prima, y yo. All right, that's we in Espanol. All right, and lastly, I have to have an ellos slide. So I'm going to use my children. So mis hijos. All right, I have 2 of them. So that sets me up to create 4 different slides, 5 including my very first title slide. Okay, so that's setting me up to know who it is I'm talking about. And of course, when you're talking about these different types of people, hopefully by now in Spanish too, you're coming in knowing that we have to create our sentences to where our subjects and our verbs agree, which can be a little tedious in Spanish, but I think that you guys will get there. All right, so showing you guys basically how to run this chart. And now that you have who you're going to put in your album, you're going to use this chart to kind of create those sentences for them. So for example, for myself, all right, yo, I'm going to come into this corner over here, and I'm going to use this box to create my sentences. If I'm going to do it for my husband, okay, he's going to go straight up into this box here, and I'll use this area to create sentences for him. All All right, if I'm going to do myself and my prima, okay, we're going to go into this corner here because we're going to expand out just like a lotus flower would, okay? So this is going to be our area. And then mis hijos, right, I'm going to do this box for them. All right, this one goes for mis hijos. So now I have it to where it's kind of spaced out. And guys, I'll probably in another video, because I know this one's kind of be just a little lengthy. But I'll explain to you the other bottom pieces here in just a second, okay? But these are top 4 areas of where I'm going to make sure that I'm creating those sentences for my family album. All right, so starting with myself. All right, what will I say about myself? And that's where you have to jump back to this example one. So if you look, guys, that in that very top chart, I have in the middle section yo. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in here, yo. All right, make sure that I know who each box goes to, just so I don't get confused. Mi esposo, mi prima, y yo, and mis hijos, my children. All right, so guys, this is where everything that you've done so far is going to kind of come into play here. If you look, going back here, again, I'm going to keep jumping back and forth. Each box represents a different sentence. So for each slide, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of sentences for each person. All right, so for the very first one, let's just get that down. The first sentence is just introducing each person. And right here it says introduction. Esta soy yo, Melissa. Esta soy yo, Melissa just means this is me, or this is I, Melissa. So I'm going to go ahead and create the sentences, because this is going to be, and just so you make note, this is going to be the only sentence that's going to be actually on the slide. So, esta soy yo, Melissa. I'm going to shorten my name here. Just the blocks, Meli. All right, esta soy yo. Then this next box is going to represent a second sentence. So the second sentence, it says physical. All right, so guys, where we talked about using said. Said is that verb that means to be, or I am. And hopefully you went through the PowerPoint and you've taken notes and you've practiced conjugating this verb. And so being able to create sentences and use it to describe how I am, or how I am personality-wise and how I am physically. So this first box is going to be how I am physically. So, oh boy. All right, so I'm going to say yo soy, I am. All right, I'm going to talk in first person here, guys, because yo means I, first person. I am. And then I would look at that list of adjectives that I've given you guys and that I've provided for you. Try to stay in within that list, because I don't want you looking up all kinds of crazy adjectives or using outside sources, just because it can get kind of difficult and complex. There are so many different adjectives in the world to describe people, but I kind of just want you to get familiarized with setting up these sentences and those grammar concepts. So go back to the adjectives list that I've given you with the said section. I think we're in week 3, so that should be in week 2, where we were talking about using said to describe people. All right, so yo soy, and I'm going to just pick an adjective to describe myself physically. And so if you look on the very top of that list, it has características, character traits, and then personality traits. So being able to describe myself, I'm going to say physically that I am young. I'm pretty young. Turning 30 this year, not too shabby. So yo soy joven. Yo soy joven. And then, sorry, yo soy joven. Y going back to the main Lotus chart. And then it has tengo. All right, tengo. We should have learned a little bit about tengo, and hopefully you remember it some from Spanish 1. In that you've gone over some of the notes. So tengo means simply, Tengo just means I have. So we're talking about physical characteristics. I have. Well, guys, I have brown eyes. Sorry. I have brown eyes. And I don't really want you guys to think in English first and then go back to Spanish and translate. I'm just showing you what the meaning of tengo is, just in case for some of you who haven't gone and looked at that lesson just yet. You need to make sure that you go back and do that because you're going to use that quite a bit throughout this presentation. So, tengo, I have. Tengo, and I want to say that I have brown hair. All right, so guys, here's where you just might have to look up some things, and I'm going to try to come back and forth and show you here. Hold on. All right, so one of the places I will tell you to do this is wordreference.com. I love WordReference. It's absolutely one of my favorites. So wordreference.com. You need to know what the word for hair is because we're talking about physical traits. It's pretty simple. I actually love wordreference.com because it puts everything into context for you. And so I'm going to look it up. All right, hair, look, pelo or cabello. Either one works. In this sense, either one works. And I tell you that it gives it to you in context because, look, we're talking about hair that's on your head, human head, right here, pelo or cabello. Right here on the bottom, it says hair that's on your human body, bello. All right, that's different. You don't want to use this part that's like hair that's on your arms or whatever. So we're going to use pelo. It's a simple one, okay? So let me go back. Now I can write my sentence now that I know what I'm going to say. All right, so I'm going to say that I have pelo. Tengo pelo. Tengo pelo. And then I need the word for brown. Café. Hopefully you guys know this, right? Hopefully I'm not teaching you something new here, but that's the color for brown. If you have to look that up again, use word reference. It's a really great site. So there's my second sentence. My first sentence was Esta soy yo, Melissa. My second sentence was Esta soy yo. I'm sorry. Yo soy joven y tengo pelo café. All right, my third sentence. I'm working on personality. So on that same list, how would I describe myself personality-wise? Well, oh boy. I would say that maybe I am smart, and maybe I am creative. Well, looking on the list, I would say, I am inteligente. I'm going to kind of write this out. Soy inteligente. And it's asking for two, so do two. All right, so soy inteligente y amable. I'm kind. Okay, there, I'm down. All right, guys, that was simple enough. So going and looking at these sentences. Esta soy yo, Meli. Yo soy joven. Tengo pelo café. Soy inteligente y amable. All right, next sentence we're working on is tener for age. Guys, this is the Spanish 1 concept. If you're struggling with it, make sure that you go back and look in the notes because it does kind of explain there how to set that up. But we do say in Spanish that I have and then a certain amount of age. You would not use ser there, I am. All right, so tengo. And then the number of years. Make sure you write this out in Spanish because it'll help you with pronunciation later on. So I'll be 30 in a few short weeks, but I'm not there yet. So let me go ahead and just put 29 because I'm still 29 as of right now. So tengo 29 años. All right. Check. All right, my next sentence here, if I come across, is going to be on my birthday. And guys, if you look here, there's a sentence that gives you the format. It gives you the entire sentence. You're literally just filling in the blanks. it says birthday. Mi cumpleaños es. My birthday is. And then here's the format for date. If you guys get tripped up or you're not sure about how to write the date out for someone else's birthday, guys, go back to the PowerPoint for said to be, because remember, if you're using the acronym doctor on how you said date format falls into says, so you'll go to the T part of doctor that talks about time and date, so you're just going to follow this format, and again, if you get stuck, go back to that. So I'm going to say mi cumple. I'm going to shorten it just a minute because I know this box is getting kind of short. Mi cumple años es, and then you make sure you're following this format. El 19 de octubre. Now guys, I wrote the number out here. I didn't write it out. I didn't spell it out, but I would really suggest that when you're writing numbers out, don't just put the number, write it out, because when you're having to go back and pronounce these, you may forget how to say 19 in Spanish, and you're going to need to be able to pronounce that and not say it in English. So if you have it written out, it's easier to read the written form than try to memorize how to say these words, okay? All right, so here we go. Your likes in nouns and your likes in verbs. Guys, you're going to need to go and make sure that you've watched the video on gustar and how to create your sentences on me gusta. And this is just, it should be, for most of you, a quick review of Spanish 1, because you would have covered gustar in Spanish 1 for sure. All right, so look, you have two different boxes with gustar. The first box is going to be things that you like that are nouns, people, places, things, concepts, or ideas. The second box here is going to be things that you like to do, verbs. Look at that list of AR regular and IR regular and ER regular verbs. Choose verbs from that list. Guys, choose verbs from that list. Because if you try to go outside the box and you try to Google Translate the things that are in your head, it probably is not going to play out so well. So make it easy on yourself and just fill in the blanks here. I have it for you. Me gusta. Well, if it's a noun, here's where you're going to need to be careful. All right, so here's your nouns. I like dogs. I know that I like dogs, so I'm going to go here and put dogs on the side. All right, and I like the mountains. All right, or maybe you like the beach. Okay, either one. All right, here's some nouns that I'm going to say that I like. So what a lot of you are going to have to do is you're going to end up having to look up these words using that. Hopefully you're going to use wordreference.com. And just like I've told you in the lessons for gustar, it's kind of, you got to work backwards, because when you're talking about nouns, guys, they're either going to be singular nouns or plural nouns. Well, if I'm talking about I like dogs, I don't like one dog, I like all dogs. So this noun is going to be dogs is a plural noun. Well, that's important, because if you're talking about plural nouns, remember that you're going to use gustan here. Go back to that lesson. I can't reteach it right here, but it's important when we're talking about what if I want to say I don't like the mountains, but I want to say I like dogs and I like the beach. Well, the beach in Español is la playa. Okay, that's a singular noun, so I have to use gustar. Sorry. I can't create that sentence. I'm going to have to split it up. So I'm going to have to say, and I'm going to go down here and write this sentence out because I'm running out of room. All right. For this particular sentence, I'm going to have to say me gustan. And the word for dogs is perros. So I'm going to say the dogs, los perros. Y me gusta la playa. Alright, that's a Y. Alright, I cannot in this sentence say me gustan los perros y la playa, because perros is a plural noun and playa is a singular noun. So make sure you're being careful in this section for all the people that are going to be in your family album. The next box here is going to be your verbs. And guys, this is going to be a lot easier because verbs, again, only use gusta. All right, so picking from the verbs in your list, that one should be pretty simple. This area here, guys, is where you're going to have to be very careful with formatting. This is going to be a red zone. All right, and that's where most of you guys are probably going to get some points taken off if you're not careful. All right, so guys, you've introduced yourself, you described yourself, your physical traits, you've described personality traits, you've given your age, your birth date, things that you like that are nouns, things you like to do, verbs, and then you have this last box here, get it. All right, get it just means I want. I'm going to have you guys skip this box. So for the purposes of this class and knowing, hopefully everybody is watching this. I guess I'll find out who's not, but make sure that you do not fill in this box here. It is going to be blank. You don't have to state what everybody wants because that is a STEM changer and we haven't got there yet. We will get there in this class, but I don't want you guys worrying about it just yet, just because I don't want people freaking out. So we're going to leave get it out for each person. Okay? Leave it out. All right. So you're going to follow the same concept for each person. Now, what you're going to have to do is make sure that when you are describing, for example, if I go here and I describe my husband, I'm going to be using said here, and I'm going to be using the verb tener here in this box. I need to make sure that I change the verb said and the verb tener to fit him. All right? Again, I'm using said here. I got to make sure that I conjugate said to fit él. Well, it's él es. All right? Same thing for tener here. Él tiene. All right? Su cumpleaños es. I'm making sure that these verbs conjugate to fit who I'm talking about. If I'm talking about me and my cousin, all right, we have to describe ourselves in this box using said and physical characteristics. So I'm going to say that we are, maybe we are strong and we are young. We are is nosotros somos. All right, guys, again, make sure that you are conjugating your verbs to fit your subjects. So again, you're using said here and tener, and you got to make sure that the tener here is used to fit in the nosotros form. So it's nosotros tenemos. Go back to your, I ran out of space there, but you'll have to go back and look at your notes for that one. All right. Hopefully this helps. I'm going to let you guys and see how far you go. Make sure that you email me if you have any questions or concerns. I do get asked a lot this question here. So if you've already stated your age here, you and of course my cousin's older than I am. I'm just going to give her birth date here because I've already given mine. It's kind of redundant, and I'm just going to give her birth date here again because I've already given mine. It's kind of redundant. So in these two boxes for nosotros, it'll just be whoever it is that you're talking about, mi prima. All right. Now I'm going to find like things that we both like, as in nouns and verbs. So make sure that is that you're using the correct indirect object pronoun there. Again, go back to those notes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably need to figure that out. Okay, because I'm going to say that we like. All right. So make sure for each person you're using said and tener here that your subjects and your verb agree. All right. Well, hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, email me. And I can't wait to hear about your families.